Seja bem-vindo, Anton Shiplin. Anton, obrigado pela participação do Cybersecurity Summit. O Anton vai estar falando com vocês hoje como é importante você ter controle dos seus assets. A visibilidade é fundamental para proteger esses assets em um ambiente industrial. Anton, é com você. Obrigado.
Thank you, Rafael. Thank you for introduction. Hello, everyone. It's a big honor to me, for me to be here. Unfortunately, it's online, not live event. Would be great to see you guys in real life, but maybe next time. But anyway, it's a big pleasure to be here today. And today I would like to share with you some useful information on the topic of ICS, Industrial Control System Asset Inventory. You can't protect what you don't know about. A couple of words about myself. My name is Anton Shiplin. I'm a member of Kaspersky Industrial Cybersecurity Business Development Team, as well as a head of program committee of our international Kaspersky Industrial Cybersecurity Conference. I'm a coordinator for Russia at Spain-based Industrial Cybersecurity Center. Also, I'm a co-founder of Russian Industrial Cybersecurity Community for information sharing. Besides all of that, I'm a big fan of the topic of the industrial cybersecurity, information sharing, knowledge sharing in this topic, and I'm happy to share some knowledge with you today. First of all, today I will an agenda of my presentation, my talk. I will tell you about what is industrial control system for those of you who are not in this area. Then I will highlight the asset inventory challenge in this sphere. Then I will tell you how regulation and standards address this topic. We'll give you an overview of asset inventory techniques that exist nowadays. We'll give some advice on building the asset inventory process in organizations. And as well, I will highlight some business benefits, not only cybersecurity, but business benefits of the industrial control system asset inventory. Short introduction, what is industrial control system? Industrial control system is a general term that includes several types of control system like SCADA systems, distributed control systems, PLCs, and so on. Those systems that are implemented in different industries, different sectors like oil and gas, chemical, transportation, pharmaceutical, water treatment, and so on. So those industries which are usually called critical infrastructures. The ICS consists of combinations of control components like electrical, mechanical, hydraulical, pneumatic, that act together to achieve an industrial objective like manufacturing, transportation, moving things, or energy. The part of system primarily concerned with producing the output is referred as a process. The control part of the system includes the specification of the desired output or performance. Control can be fully automated or may include a human in the loop. The part of the system primarily concerned with maintaining conformance with specifications is referred to as controller or control. A typical ICS industrial control system may contain numerous control loops, including human-machine interface and remote diagnostic and maintenance tools built using an array of network protocols. But nowadays, the industrial control system, it's not only field devices and actuators, sensors, and controllers. All these devices, including controllers, are getting connected more and more with external systems, with external networks. Business wants to know more information about industrial processes. That's why it's getting more interconnected with the external world. And this This situation provides benefits for control, for monitoring, but also poses risks for industrial control system of external and unauthorized access to this system. In recent years, we have seen that industrial control systems are vulnerable to cybersecurity incidents. There were lots of incidents with industrial control systems, starting from Stuxnet, Triton, Ukraine attack, and so on. But now we see that there is increasing awareness and more organizations implementing security measures to raise the cybersecurity level of their devices and networks. However, there remains a security problem. There are lack of awareness of the scope and total number of assets organizations hold. Not knowing the scope will make it difficult to take measures to secure all the devices. Thus, some will be left unprotected. On the principle that a chain is only as strong as the weakest link, we may conclude that if we do not secure of all assets equally, these measures are insufficient. Therefore, the asset inventory is the first step in secure industrial control system. Making an inventory containing all the assets involved in the process. This inventory, if done correctly, will collect detailed information for each asset, including software information, firmware information, hardware information, and so on. With this information, the inventory can be used to properly manage vulnerabilities, which will make it possible to take the necessary measures to solve and mitigate them. And for example, according to the survey which was made by ARC Advisory last year for our company, we see that in asset identification, inventory is one of the popular technologies now in the ICS inventory in industrial companies. With this, that many companies already have implemented this system. Some of them have the plans for implementing in the future years. So asset inventory is very important, and people understand it in industrial companies. Moving on to the regulation and standards part, I would like to say that asset identification, asset inventory is one of the basic, one of the fundamental measures mentioned in the standards. For example, the SIS controls, which are the prioritized set of action that collectively form a defense in-depth set of best practices that mitigate the most common attacks against system and network, which is true for industrial control system as well, have their first three controls are related to asset inventory: software inventory, hardware inventory, and vulnerability identifications. It's the basics measures what should be first in the cybersecurity program. Talking about the certifications, the SIS standard SIS controls are not the only standard that cover this topic. We see that there are mapping measures like controls with another relevant industrial control system cybersecurity standard, like NIST cybersecurity framework, like NIST 884 about industrial control system cybersecurity, IEC 62443, and NERC-CIP, different parts of the NERC-CIP standards. There also covers the incident, they cover asset identification, asset inventory measures. And as I mentioned, the NIST cybersecurity framework, one of the popular framework for cybersecurity now globally, is a policy framework of computer security guidance for how private sector organization and critical infrastructure can assess and improve their ability to prevent, detect, and respond to cyber attack. And in its core part, in identify function, it also have controls for asset inventory, which are connected with the similar controls in different standards, as I mentioned, CIS, critical security controls, and other standards you can see on this slide. So for those who need some justification for inventory, asset inventory, there are lots of standards, lots of recommendations, lots of guidance, which can be used as a basement. And now I would like to tell you about the asset inventory technology. So how this asset inventory can be done. First of all, there is a physical inspection and manual asset inventory, which is basically means that the asset inventory is made by people with no automation, usually by using some spreadsheets, files. Well, it has lots of disadvantages, like it's time-consuming and labor-intensive. Of course, it's prone to human errors and incomplete data. And it's difficult to maintain and update, but it might be effective only for initial inventory, for some small number devices, and for some sensitive facilities where the automated inventory cannot be used. Moving on to the more automated inventory technologies. The second is configuration file analysis. This technique is automated and take existing configuration data, including technological parameters, tags from process control system, network devices, process diagrams, and other configuration sources to create a picture of known assets. It's a great way to get OT information, operation technologies, ICS information that cannot be obtained by other techniques. For example, for isolated and disconnected environments such as safety system. And there are other two techniques: is passive inventory and active inventory, which is popular now in the market. Is a passive inventory the most popular technologies. It's automated technique that sniffs and analyzes passively OT network traffic via mirroring port, span port, or network top devices to obtain just information about assets. It's 100% safe for OT network because it's passive, it's not intrusive, causes no impact on assets, but as it listens only interacting devices, it gets less information from each assets. That's why active inventory is better for getting more information. It's also automated techniques that actively queries, probing, scans the OT devices for detailed asset information in the native industrial protocol language. Rapidly discovers network communications, asset details down to the input-output level. But there is disadvantage for this technique is that it can cause damage to the assets when interacting with it. So this technique should be used with precautions. And talking about the asset information, what is it? So in order for the inventory to be valuable in terms of security and risk management, it's important to store detailed information about each assets included in it. In doing so, some of the most important fields that should be collected for each assets are on this slide. You can see this information, some details on the software version, hardware version, some network details, and so on. So all the information that can be used by operators and asset owners for future planning, for improving security, for predictive maintenance, and so on. So it's information for making decisions. One of the detail of this information is a type of assets or class of assets, and that's why I would like to say a couple of words about classifications. To properly manage the assets, they could be classified according to their nature. Thus, there may be one inventory or several with all the organization possible assets. At the same time, it's important to store enough information for each asset so that the inventory is valuable. You can see there are not only network devices and computer-based devices, assets. The assets are also the people, assets also the information, the technologies used. So all these assets of the organization should be taken into account. And to do this asset inventory, there are lots of tools, lots of products that can do that. Some of them are open source and free tools, like listed on this slide: Grass, Marlin, Wireshark, Security Audits, and so on. And there are as well commercial tools that can do the same with support of the vendors. Like, for example, our system we have in Kaspersky Industrial Cybersecurity for Networks, for passive asset inventory in industrial control system. So there are lots of options for the customers to use what they need. Here I would like to say one more thing, that asset inventory helps with asset integrity monitoring and alerting. It helps to find new devices in the environment, new vulnerabilities in the existing assets, devices that go offline, any anomalous device communications, and any device attribute changes. All in all, with ICS asset inventory system, the customer will be aware of environmental changes in his systems to identify risk as soon as possible. So it's a change management system for you. And talking about building the asset inventory process, I would like to say that asset inventory is a process, not a project. It should be continuous. First of all, to start it manually with sources and documents you already have with a limited scope of inventory systems. Then define attributes you need to get from the assets and collect them. After using what you have, scale the asset inventory scope by adding new inventory technologies, combine them, passive inventory with active inventory, configuration analysis as well. Use free or commercial tools and add new attributes into your asset inventory approach. If possible, try to integrate your asset inventory system with external system to enrich one another with attributes and values. So to get the information, to provide additional information to IT, for example, asset inventory system, and so on. So integration is a key. And maintain the asset inventory process constantly. And talking about asset inventory maintenance, I would like to say that asset inventory must be constantly updated process. So the asset inventory frequency should be as high as possible to see changes in the system. It's obvious. The frequency depends on the type of assets. For some assets, the frequency can be less than for others. Inventory asset control must be monitored, so the only authorized user can be access data. So the asset inventory also can be hacked, so they should be protected. And backup copies must be taken into account in inventory maintenance task because it's valuable information. This information should be available for lots of stakeholders. And moving to the asset inventory business benefits, I would like to say is that asset inventory supports not just security, but a variety of business objectives such as cost saving and profit increases. First of all, having a comprehensive asset list allows engineers to recover operations more quickly, so reduce mean time to response, minimize losses due to downtime, so increase productivity and profit. One day of extra, for example, uptime might pay for the entire asset inventory program. Clear asset inventory can identify assets needing maintenance and replacement before they impact the process, increasing mean time to failure. As well, asset inventory enables understanding of process, which in turn contributes to ensuring safe and reliable operations. It's very important for safety. Comprehensive asset inventory program can reduce regulatory risk on authorizing assets in the facility that don't follow security compliance rules. And as investments can initially be small, as I mentioned, with minimal scope and use of free or open source tools to start the process. And investment in automated asset inventory obviously reduces associated labor cost. All in all, comprehensive asset inventory help the organization to better understand and manage cybersecurity risk. So the cybersecurity risk is a business risk. Asset inventory helps in that. And in conclusion of my talk, I would like to say that asset inventory is a critical and fundamental step in ensuring the safe and reliable operations of your process. There are several key technologies to asset inventory, to make an asset inventory. It's a manual techniques, it's active scanning, passive analyzing, configuration analysis, and so on. All these techniques have areas where they excel, but successful asset inventory programs utilize more than one analytic techniques. As I mentioned, they should be combined, should be integrated with each other and with external asset systems and other systems. Asset inventory doesn't need to be difficult tasks. As I said, it might utilize the resources that the company already has at hand and improve sources. Asset inventory is not just a cybersecurity tool. As I said, it provides support for reducing recovery times and lowering organizational risk in other areas. To get resources for an asset inventory program, show the benefits of such a program to reliable operations and safety instead of security. Such benefits will enhance your case to business leaders. And in the final part of my presentation, I would like to give you some useful sources of information, some best practices and recommendations which I used for this overview. You can check these sources out and use them for yourself. And here in Kaspersky, we also don't stay aside of this problem. We are working on our technologies and services for industrial control system cybersecurity, including asset inventory technologies. We have these technologies at a host level, at the network level. We have our ICS vulnerability database that enrich our asset inventory technologies. So if you are if you have interest in that, you can check this information on our website or feel free to contact me. And I would like to say thank you for your information, for your attention to my talk. I hope it was useful. This information can help you in your cybersecurity journey, and you can use these ideas for your asset inventory program. And thank you very much. And now I'm happy to answer your questions. Thank you very much.